Welcome back everyone. In today's video, we're going to be talking about staging living rooms for photo and video services. Let's jump right in. Thanks for coming back for episode 4, all about the differences between staging properties for photo and video services versus staging properties for in-person viewings. It's going to be hard to cram all of this into just 5 minutes, so let's jump straight into number 1. Simple. Don't put tall things in the center of your room. I'm speaking specifically about lamps on end tables in the middle of your room. I understand when living in a house, you may want a light next to you on the couch, but if that lamp is not against the wall, it will be an obstruction in the photos. No matter how cute you think it is, it might look good for an in-person viewing, but it will always block off important views for photo and videos. It's important when we shoot that we do it at a lower angle, giving us an equal amount of ceiling to floor space. And if you shoot too high, you'll end up with either way too much ceiling or incorrect verticals. Neither of those look good. Look at this simple MLS image as an example. Notice how the lamp on the end table blocks a view of the rest of the room. You can barely tell there's a fireplace there. Now, look at this exact same image, but this time, no lamp. Can you see how much larger the room looks? What I will recommend when staging your property for photos and videos in particular is to only put tall objects up against the wall. Lamps should only go against the wall and never in the center of the room. Nothing tall should ever be on the coffee table or end tables sticking out into the room. Just like I mentioned in earlier videos with kitchen islands, only use items for staging in these areas that are low to the surface. Small pot of succulents? Yes. Tall orchid? No. A few books or magazines stacked nicely? Yes. Tall vase with long stem flowers? No. Are you getting my point now? If so, let's go into point number 2, which factors in here. Tip number 2. Less is more. This goes for just about everything. It goes for pictures and paintings on the wall, throw pillows and blankets on your couch. You don't want every square inch of every surface to be covered in things. It does not matter if we're talking about a lower price point house with images of friends and families, or if we're talking about a lavish property full of high dollar art. Either way, it works the same. Remember, when it comes for images for the MLS, you're selling the space and not necessarily the things in that space. Don't get me wrong, some staging always goes a long way for imagery, but going overboard has the opposite effect. It clutters the space, therefore making it feel less welcome. You want the people viewing your images and your videos to get the feel of the staging, but you also want them to be able to visualize how their own possessions and accessories fit into that space, how it fills that space. If you fill that space with too much stuff, it has the complete opposite effect, making it almost impossible for someone to look past. Tip number 3, and this tip is all about staging the large pieces of furniture in the room. Stage these large pieces of furniture as close to the walls as possible. Your big furniture like couches and oversized chairs, push them up against the wall. I realize when living in your house, there are lots of reasons why you would want your couch pulled away from the wall, especially if you have large living spaces. But once again, for photo and video, you should always avoid having those large pieces moved to the center. You want them pushed to the extremities of the room and placed against walls. This is for 2 main reasons. Number 1, it makes you look like there's a lot more floor space. Number 2, placing the back of the couch towards the camera is not only uninviting, but it goes back to my earlier point that it really blocks the view of the rest of the room. That's it. Those are my 3 major tips for staging living rooms and how to properly prepare them for photo and video. I could go on and on about small little things, but those are really the most important things. Once again, don't put anything tall on end tables that stick out into the room or coffee tables. Don't clutter your space in every square inch of it with pillows, paintings, and art. A little goes a long way, and never use too much. Number 3, push all of those big pieces of furniture as close to the walls as they can get. You want it to look like you have as much floor space as possible, and that's the easiest way to do it. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Come check us out next time.